Hello and welcome back to another episode of Midnight Mayhem. I am with my co-host as usual.
I'm Bobby and I love horror.
I'm Leon, I love movies.
And I'm Raymond, the other guy. All right, are you guys ready to pump it up?
I was waiting for the catch line.
I was
Catch the fire, man.
I didn't even tell you guys I was going to do that. I was like, I'll see if they can catch on.
I was
You
like,
fellas,
pump what
both
up?
of you.
What are you talking about,
What are you
bro?
talking about? I just checked the air pressure. Is it fine?
Just look at the camera, dude.
So yeah, the last couple episodes we recorded, we were just like, oh, like what movie should we do? And Leo was always like, oh, we should do The Substance.
Yeah.
And then we were
I've
like,
been saying the substance for a while.
and then we would do another episode, like, oh, what should we do for next week? We should do this, we should do that. And Leo was like, well, I mean, The Substance looks pretty cool.
Looks pretty cool.
And then we were like, oh, we did another episode. And we're like, what should we do? And Leo was like, I kind of want to watch The Substance before the Oscars. So it's the 2 weeks after the Oscars, and as of recording, and we are talking about The Substance.
The substance.
Which, if you didn't watch the Oscars, award-winning movie.
Yes, sir.
Got an award for, what was it?
Best makeup.
Best makeup.
Out of all the movies that were released last year, this one won the Oscars for best makeup. There's a lot of movies that came out last year.
Yeah, so it won the award, Best Makeup and Hairstyling. It was nominated for Best Motion Picture of the Year, Best Achievement in Directing, Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role, and Best Original Screenplay.
That's a lot of nominations.
It was original, I'll tell you that. I'll give you that. And then also Demi Moore's performance.
Yes, we got a Golden Globe. Yes.
Golden Globe.
Golden Globe.
Golden Globe. Yep. Best actress. Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should open up with this movie's not for everyone. It's one of those movies where
That's an understatement.
It's hard to recommend this to people who are not avid horror watchers. If you love horror and you're a veteran horror watcher, then yeah, you're gonna love this. This is dope as hell.
Here's the thing: was this movie considered horror?
Yes.
Or is it?
100%.
Yeah?
That body horror is pretty
Body
intense.
horror. There you go.
Yeah, that body
Yeah.
horror is just
Cronenberg levels of
Cronenberg.
Yeah,
There you go.
I like.
Yep.
Even us at moments we're like, what?
Yeah, so it's technically categorized under horror sci-fi. With a runtime of 2 hours and 20 minutes, the movie does star Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid. The movie was directed by Carol Farzad. She's a French director. She's probably best known for her film, especially in the horror community. She did the movie Revenge, which came out in 2017.
That was a Shudder original, right?
I'm not sure.
I originally saw it on Shudder.
Really?
I don't think it was a Shudder original, but
it was very pronounced.
It might have just like shown up on Shudder.
But yeah, so it stars Demi Moore. She was in I Spit on Your Grave. She was in Ghost, and just because I just threw this one, it's not a horror, but she was in a movie called Bobby.
Yeah. Also, Charlie's Angels.
Wait,
right?
She was also in Charlie's Angels. But
That's
I'm trying to
her
highlight more so like the horror aspect.
Yeah,
that's
the one I knew her from though.
I was gonna say, I was like, was she the one from Requiem for a Dream, or was that somebody else?
Maybe. Yeah.
Double check, fact check.
But it also stars Margaret Qualley, which she was in. The only one I can find that was technically horror adjacent was Death Note.
Nope, Jennifer Cooley.
2017.
Was she
the Netflix movie?
Was she Misa?
I have no idea. I never saw that movie.
That's crazy if that was her.
It might have been.
No, but I have to look now.
Yeah. Well, now you do your fact check.
Yeah, dang.
Also starred Dennis Quaid. He was in The Day After Tomorrow, Jaws 3, and Legion. So
Dennis Quaid?
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid. Yeah.
I was like, wait a second, where did I have seen him from?
Yeah. Wait, the guy from Parent Trap?
where haven't you seen that guy from? He's been so many.
He's in a lot of movies, but he's one of those actors that's kind of like,
you've seen him somewhere.
oh, I know him from something.
Yeah, like what's his name? Like he was in that one movie. What's that one movie
he
called?
was that one guy.
He's that one dad in that one movie. What's
Yeah.
it called? You know.
He's also unrelated, or technically related. He's the father of Dennis Quaid, who was more recently in the movie The Companion, which also came out this year, 2025.
Also, what is that?
Novocaine?
Novocaine? Yeah, I was gonna say cocaine.
That's more. I feel like that's more going to be like an action comedy movie, but
he's moving up in the ranks, just like his dad. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was Misa.
That's hilarious.
What?
Yeah, because she was in a Netflix series called Maid.
Oh, she was in Maid?
She was pretty young, yeah. She's like the main girl.
Oh, I've seen Maid.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. It's pretty sad,
Shocked,
but it's pretty good.
But anyway, I'm going to go over a quick summary of the movie, and then we're going to start getting into ratings. So fading actress Elizabeth Sparkle, played by Demi Moore, becomes distressed when her chauvinistic boss fires her from her what is it?
Aerobics.
Aerobics?
Yep, you got it.
Aerobics show. Soon she injects herself with a mysterious serum that promises a younger, better version of herself, but things go horribly wrong. So right off the bat, you guys, what's your ratings overall?
All right, perfect. I want to say I give it a solid 8.5.
8.5?
8.5. Yep.
8.5. I think that's a perfect mark.
All right. Time for the mayhem. I want to give it a 6.
Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
No, you're not, dude.
Yeah,
You're such a troll, dude. What the fuck? Why are we like?
Because I knew you guys were like, "Oh, this movie's so great. This movie's so great."
You're like, well, hi.
It is great. That's what
This guy's staying up till like 3 a.m.
So-
He's like, I got it now. I'm gonna get him.
I'm over here
Emmys.
doing like
What the hell is
self-reflection.
wrong?
It won
live.
one Emmy, which is fantastic considering it's a horror movie, which horror movies are obviously consistently snubbed for rewards. As good as this movie is, as much substance as this movie had, there wasn't much of a story, and with the way the movie progressed, it's difficult for me to be like, oh, like it's a strong recommendation. Oh, I'll rewatch this movie again.
Yeah. Well, I would.
disagree.
It's a good movie. It's a fun movie, but it has its problems.
I disagree completely.
No, yeah, I disagree completely too. Like, it
because
does
I
have
can-
some pacing issues, but I mean, it's all for build-up, and that build-up pays off in one scene or the other. So, and it's like, it's funny because it's like your rating also always goes with the IMDb rating.
Actually, yeah, let's go on that.
I feel like
actually.
it's gonna be split. I feel like
So-
it's literally gonna be either a 5 or a 6 because it's either I feel like half the audience loved it and the other half hated it. That's what
Yeah.
it definitely seems
So
like.
the IMDb rating for The Substance was going to be a 7.3 out of 10. So a little bit above my rating, my personal rating.
Yeah.
However, the Rotten Tomatoes for the audience score is going to be 89%, which is going to be
Wow.
a little bit above what
I
you
agree.
guys think.
I
of the
agree.
movie.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree? You're going to change your answer?
I mean, no,
You
I'm
wanna do
saying,
9?
No,
I'm saying it's 8.5.
I feel like 9 is like for me it's always like the stuff I enjoyed that it's like peak. This is like right on that border, so 8.5 is perfect, I think.
Okay.
So that's where I'm sticking to that because man, was it thought provoking? I wanted to rewatch the movie immediately.
yeah, dude.
And then
Before the rental ran out.
yeah, literally, yeah.
Like, did you want to watch it immediately because of the rental was running out, or did you just want to watch it again?
No, I want to
because
watch
of
it
the
again.
film?
Both.
Okay. Yeah.
I felt so many whirlwind of emotions. I was like, wow. I was like,
Yeah. The thing is, I'll say the movie is very thought provoking,
Yeah.
and we'll get into the themes in a little bit.
Sure.
But in terms of story, there's not much happening in the movie.
It has a simple story. Like, I would say it's not a crazy story. Like, it's just about this aging star, that
Gracefully aging star.
gracefully aging.
Demi,
I almost said
have you
age.
watched this?
Please sponsor us.
Yes, please sponsor us. we need help.
No, like, she's an aging Hollywood star, right? And as beautiful as she still looks, Hollywood doesn't see her that way. And that happens with, in the real world too. Like, like actresses that are still like, they look great in their 50s, well into their 60s. They get overshined by like younger actresses and this and like, oh, like, you have Zendaya and you have what's that one girl from Euphoria? What's her name again?
Sydney Sweeney.
That's the one. Yeah, she's
Sounds like
everywhere now.
Zendaya.
Yeah, no, and she's everywhere now, and it's like she's kind of like overthrowing all these other stars.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. She's like a rising star, but then like also she's like outshining all these other people. And what this movie does, like, yeah, it pretty much takes aerobics into like the main screen, because obviously they needed something to kind of like portray like the physical image of a woman,
Yeah.
And obviously with aerobics, it's like, oh, you have to look good everywhere, and even though Demi Moore looks good in the movie, I mean,
Stunning.
I don't want to.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she's beautiful, but I don't want
And
to
out
speak
of
for
the
like
movie.
every woman. But like, I feel like every woman at one point in their life or another, they felt like it doesn't matter what age they're at, they're just not happy with some sort of image of
It's
themselves.
a societal
I'm like
standard thing.
slowly. I'm
No,
slowly.
you're good. No, you're not. No, I laugh.
I'm like trying to like not like go over.
I
the line.
you're doing it perfect.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing because I remember what I wanted to do in the beginning of this episode, where I was going to be like, let's mansplain this
I
woman
fucking-
empowerment
All right,
movie.
so for you women who didn't understand the movie, this is what it's about.
No way. I'm about to edit the hell out of this episode, dude.
No, it's fine.
But the
no, but it's
I
very
think
much
I think
like,
it does speak to societal societal standards. Because like for example, we're just three guys, right? How long
Very
did it take you to get ready?
feministic
How long did it take
guys.
you to get ready to
5 minutes.
5 minutes, right? How long did it take you to get ready for today's episode?
5 minutes, but an
5
hour
minutes.
because I had to go to the bathroom and stuff.
Okay.
have a Baja Blast.
Yeah. It doesn't take us long to get ready, but we don't hold our appearances to such a high standard because we're guys. Nobody cares what we look like. But when you're a woman, it's a completely different story. And this movie really acts on that standard where as a female, it's like you have to be a certain age, you have to look a certain way, you have to
and it's not supposed to be that way, by the way.
relatable.
We're not saying that it has to be. No, it's not supposed to be that way.
We understand, but I give them credit. I feel like they understand us. But I do think that it is relatable to men to some degree, especially with the whole theme of aging, especially since the one who introduces her to the drug is a guy. But very much is it more focused on females because it heavily applies to them way more than us.
Yeah.
The only problem with recommending this movie in general is just because there's so much nudity that you can see people immediately being put off by the movie.
The thing is, I like the way the nudity is implied in the movie because it's not sexualized. It's literally just like as a matter of fact.
It's never like sexualized. That's why it wasn't
too much for me. Cause
even in the only sex scene in the movie, there was no nudity. Yeah. Like, and it's like, just like you put it, it's like the only nudity in the movie. It's pretty much like just the image.
It's
very just for image.
What's like
I say raw.
Not raw, but like
one off, no?
Like surgical.
Yeah, I guess.
The nudity in the movie, it's there's a reason for it, and it's like even the background you see, it's very sterile, it's very white, it's very plain.
Yeah.
It's not played for like any kind of sexuality. It's just
the purpose it serves is to have a reflection on how, because I wanted
how
to
you view yourself. Oh.
No, yeah, it is. It's how you view yourself alone in the bathroom versus outside in public or having the spotlight on you. It's like it's completely different. You critique yourself.
Yeah.
Like I have a stretch mark.
Like, I don't know what it's called. You might know what it's called.
Gray, or it's like I have.
You know, it's like a dysmorphia thing where you hate looking at pictures of yourself because that's how everybody sees you because you're so used to your own reflection.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's body dysmorphia. That's one.
That's a whole thing, but
that could be it because it's like you could look in the mirror and like you see yourself like, oh, I like how I look today, but then you see a picture, it's like, what the hell? Like I just see myself in the mirror, but it's like, and then and it messes with you because people start thinking like, is that what people see me? I don't like that, and so they must not like that either. Like I don't want that, and it becomes this whole thing of like again with the movie. Sadly, it's just.
It's real.
It's the whole thing of like
the
how
movie's
everybody,
very real.
how
like,
everybody
outside the sci-fi aspect of it.
Of course, yeah.
I think you explained it perfectly earlier.
The raw emotions you'll feel while watching a film like this are very uncomfortable. Just in the sense that you're just like you feel so much for the character that it kind of makes it unbearable to watch.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like we should give a shout out to the second lead actress in this, Margaret.
Of course, because she had the most screen time, I think.
Yeah, when I said second lead, I'm only saying that because she's like the clone. But her performance was phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal. Like
no, pretty good. Yeah,
some of my best line deliveries are from her in the movie.
Yeah.
On top of that, to get to the level because I was thinner before. You can look back at old videos, but my God, the amount of work she did to achieve like her fitness for the role, amazing. Like dialed in, like she wasn't like bodybuilder, like stage ready. She was like curvy and fit, and she talks about it. Like I was watching interviews where she's like, to get ready for this role, I tried my best not to let it I'm playing a character that's the opposite of what I am. So she's like, I've never really cared about like curves or I've always been comfortable in my own skin, but to put myself in the spotlight like this, I'm forcing myself to like critique myself and she's like, my husband didn't like some of the stuff that I was doing.
And I feel like that's kind of dangerous too in terms of like method acting because it's like you could technically give yourself body dysmorphia by like trying to get in that headspace where like, oh well, now I have to worry about what I look like or how my body is shaped or
Same thing with Debbie Moore. She was already kind of like in that mindset because she is older. I couldn't believe how old she was. Like not to insult or anything, but she is what, like she's like 60.
She was about to turn 60 when this movie was being made.
Yeah.
And
So
she looks
she's-
amazing.
In the movie, I guess she plays a version of herself that's supposedly supposed to be
50.
10 years younger, and it's like
she's on the she's
We're watching the movie, we're like,
she was
she looks better
59
than
years
us.
old. She's 59
Yeah.
years old as of filming the movie.
Yeah.
She plays a 50-year-old in the movie.
Yep.
And she looks so well. It was
Mhm.
like, oh, like she's playing like just her age.
Yeah.
She's 10 years younger than that.
No, yeah, she's crazy. I know. We're like, what do you mean? She's like, and it's like, there's some people that I'm not gonna look like that when I'm 60.
I'm not gonna look like that when I'm 32.
But was her last name Margaret Quillally?
Qualley, yeah.
Phenomenal job, amazing. And I know that they actually used prosthetics to give her more curves. So even the body that she had in the movie that seemed so unattainable is unattainable.
It's unattainable. That's not even her body.
So it's
yeah.
like
Unless you know somebody who works in special effects.
it's like the idea of perfect is never, you can't reach it.
Yeah,
it's
there's
not,
no such
it's
thing
not
as perfect.
practical.
And it's cool because like also that too, the for Demi Moore's nude scenes, like it was actually her, nude, and before she even like filmed those scenes, she was actually feeling scared to do so because she's filmed nude scenes before, but filming them at this age, she's like, it's something that not a lot of actresses are comfortable doing, and especially in her doing that, like she's viewed as like this beautiful actress, but obviously like she was like viewed as like one of like the most beautiful actresses in the 90s or even into the early 2000s, right? And like she's mentioned in many interviews, like she's been wanting to keep that image with her. So for her to even do these scenes into her 60s, she says she felt scared and extremely vulnerable.
Like almost like she would be tainting her image as
exactly.
And same goes for the other actress, Margaret. She said that like for that scene where she does the dance routine, apparently she got blasted. Like she
got
just had a
wasted,
drink because she was so nervous about it. And it's it's really you're putting yourself out there like that, and you can either be if this movie flopped or if it wasn't received well, it very much could have gone the other way. Like, the exact thing that's happening in the movie would happen to them in real life.
And
where
that's
it's like, look at them just flaunting themselves around for the sake of it.
And that's
like,
like
just after attention. Like
exactly.
You see her in this movie, you're like, she looks amazing, and that is not attainable.
And that's another thing too.
insane.
Like when Demi Moore mentioned that she was scared of filming these scenes, she kind of put herself in like the head of the actual character too, because like, wait, this is what this movie's about, like
it's like it can directly reflect her
exactly
life.
So she's all like, I'm scared of filming this scene because I'm afraid of what other people are going to think of me, but this is literally the movie right now. So that's kind of what helped her get out of that mind space too.
And
it's great. I love it.
As
it's great.
As much as my rating doesn't agree with what I'm going to say, I feel like this movie is so I'm glad this movie did well for how experimental it was.
Oh
it was really
by the time
by
the time the movie the credits rolled, I was like, I cannot believe this was made so recently. I feel like I haven't seen something this over the top in years.
This over the top, thought provoking,
yes, exactly,
successful.
This felt like an '80s movie.
Yes,
in the way some of the stuff just kind of like transpired.
And then the sound design, so much of it was great.
The score was like really like upbeat. Like I was like, oh my god, the cinematography.
There you go.
The subtle foreshadowing, that you didn't expect to be foreshadowing.
No, hell no, exactly.
I really like
before we even talk about the movie.
Yeah.
This is just us talking about it.
Yep, exactly.
So I do recommend it, but also. Like if you're not new to horror,
it,
or if you are new to horror,
yeah.
If you're new to horror, you're not going to be able to get through the nudity, and I haven't even mentioned this yet. The gore, is amazing.
Holy shit! I mean, that's what won the Oscars. The gore, you know.
The prosthetics and the costumes are phenomenal, and so much of it's just like, and
there was a good amount of homages to other horror franchise. One of the notable ones was going to be The Shining.
No way, I never noticed.
Oh, you never noticed?
That also
there was The Shining. There was Reanimator.
Reanimator, yeah. The whole time.
I never heard nobody mention that, but that green goop.
Yeah. The one because I remember we watched the end of the movie and I was like, why does that scene remind me of something? We'll talk about it at the end, but the ending scene
Yeah,
where
I know what it
They
is.
reminded me of Carrie.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were gonna say the other one.
The one her head is flopping back into the star.
You know, for one, yes, Carrie, but also King Kong. I didn't even notice it until I had watched someone talk
What do
about
you
it.
mean?
King Kong.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it in a little bit.
Sure.
But from now on, we're going to go into spoiler warnings. We're going to talk about the film in its entirety, and we're going to go ahead and just talk about favorite scenes.
So this is your chance to click off. And
Favorite
go watch the
scenes,
movie,
favorite characters, favorite kills.
but it's not for everybody. Fair warning.
Get ready for a 2-hour episode.
Last time we had a 2-hour episode, Leo got angry.
So mad.
But yeah, this is your spoiler warning. Feel free to click off and click back on when you've seen the movie. It's available to rent right now. It's not streaming on anything for free, but if you'd like, it's gonna be free. It's gonna be for rent on Amazon Prime, Fandango at Home, and Apple TV. About $6 each. So
it's not bad. Not a bad price. How
come
much
back.
Did you pay for it?
$6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, come back if you want to experience the movie with us. So we're gonna talk about it right now.
All right, let's go inject the substance.
Hey.
All right, so that was your warning. So let's get into the beginning of the film. So the movie is about a woman who was a really big, popular, up-and-coming actress. Her name was Elizabeth Sparkles.
Mm-hmm.
As years progressed, she kind of became like an obscure actor. Like some people will be like, "Oh, like that's that one chick from that movie," you know. But nowadays, she's just kind of in a morning aerobics show. I don't remember what it was called. You?
Pump it up.
Pump it up.
No, that was
Pump it, or was it Pump It?
Nope. That you're thinking of.
No, yeah, it's all good. Keep going.
Something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, so she needed to use the restroom. All the women's restrooms were out of order because it's kind of like, hey, we don't care about women. Like right off the bat, you're kind of like, that's the mindset you're getting for the movie. So she decides to use the men's restroom. While she's in there, she overhears her producer basically like, hey, she's old, she's ugly, I don't want her, I want something new. So she already knows she's gonna get fired.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where the King Kong line comes in. He goes, "What was she known for? King Kong or something?" Yeah. And then at the end, she's kind of paraded on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see the parallels.
And then when they scream, it's very much like classic horror monster.
Oh, that's what you mean. Oh, okay.
Pretty
All
crazy.
right.
I was
right.
the other point that I was like, oh damn. Why does it feel wamilar?
That fucking
Crazy.
went through my mind. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But she's got all these emotions going through. She's like, she knows she's gonna get fired, but they don't know that she knows that. She's stressed out. She's driving home from work. As she's driving, she sees that they're removing one of her billboards.
Mm-hmm.
It distracts her so much that she gets into a car crash.
Right, gets swipe.
Yeah, as they rip
Side.
off her face, it distracts her where she gets sideswiped. Yeah, T-boned.
So she ends up going to the hospital.
And miraculously, she has not gotten injured somehow. That
She's
horrible accident.
Perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine. Not
I
even a
sneezed
scratch.
the other day and I threw out my back.
And the doctor points that out and he's like, "Happy birthday! It's your birthday!"
It's your birthday, by the way.
Just
She
tears.
starts crying. I'm like, oh,
because the whole thing was it was her 50th birthday.
Yes,
and
exactly.
because
so
of
sad.
that is why they're getting rid of her.
Yeah. It's just everything is just hitting her at once, like the crash, her birthday, her getting fired, all of that.
But the nurse who was with the doctor, who kind of looks like the guy from House of Wax, is like, hey, you'd be a good candidate. And he kind of leaves it at that. And she's like, that's super weird.
He's like, you got a real nice spine.
Yeah, I
remember when he came on screen, I was like,
Attack on Titan.
Why is he
Like,
shiny?
gets a
Why
nice
is he
spinal
so
fluid.
waxy? You know? But yeah.
That's just how people look in Hollywood.
No, but it's
Yeah.
like they purposely made him look like that. Because I was like,
yeah.
He had Vaseline or something.
Yeah,
some
he had
Aquaphor.
something. Exactly.
He looked like American Psycho.
He looked like.
Oh yeah.
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 But anyway, what does she get home and she sees
He get a note with a flash drive.
Yeah, and it basically says it's the substance.
And it's like, it changed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she looks at it and it's like, hey, like it basically makes you a younger version of yourself. It's, just something
Well,
something
did you get
to
to
consider.
the part where she gets it in the mail and then it tells her to go to that address?
Not yet.
Okay.
I mean, we're about to. She
Oh,
got the
yeah.
flash drive. It basically tells her what it is.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, that's right. The trailer.
She
to
tosses
the-
it, and what I forgot what motivates her to get it out of the trash. I think she sees like an old recording of herself, or
No, she sees it on TV. She's seeing something on TV. I
was
think
it just her old performances?
think so, or it might have been just like a different
Yeah, she clearly did what anyone else would do and be like basura, and just like trashed it.
So this is super sketchy because Like, it just showed up at my house and whatever.
Clear metaphor for drugs. Like,
yeah, if you got a thing in the mail that's like, oh, lose weight now, and it's like, I don't believe you. Something happens. She decides to dig it out of the trash. She watches the flash drive. It basically tells her to go to this address. She goes there. It's like what are they called? Like where they just have a bunch of lockers.
Like
a
P.O. box.
Kind of like a P.O. box. It's like a drop-off space.
Which again, it's very symbolic if you think about it, because it's like in order to achieve such form, I guess they would put it, like you have to go through like the crummiest, dirtiest place,
and the gate doesn't even open all the way. You have to crawl
you
under
have to crawl underneath. You have to pull. Yeah, you have to get dirty, and then you eventually go through a dark hallway and you reach this super clean, like sterile locker rooms. You know,
yeah,
organized and stuff. Like it's like. You would think it's like, oh, how come it's so dirty outside but so clean inside? It's like, well, I mean, you could think about it like that, you know?
But yeah, so she gets a number assigned to her. She gets the starting kit for the substance. It's just called the substance. It's kind of like the stuff.
Yeah. It should be. I think it's very it's perfect that it's so vague.
Yeah.
It's just you fill in the blank basically. It's X equals X, Y, Z.
That's true.
But the one thing that I thought was funny is as we were watching the movie, because everything is so vague in it. It's like, oh, like activator, food pump.
Yes.
This and that.
I got confused.
Yeah, you were like, I don't understand.
Oh yeah, all the instructions.
I'll explain that in a second.
You're like, do I eat this before? You're like,
no, my dumb was like, oh, it says food for the other self. So I'm like, oh, I guess the duplicate's gonna be the one that has to eat the mush. But no, you just give that to the main one.
And there's instructions saying like it's like.
I was like, I would have messed up everything.
Switch. Yeah, you have to switch. Like no excuses. No.
Yeah,
nothing.
so
there's 7 days. Yeah,
there's a couple rules to the substance. You need a stabilizer, which needs to be applied every day. So for 7 days, every 7 days you have to switch back with your original body. No exceptions, and that's very important to the story. But yeah, you want to continue with the story? So she had just gotten the substance, and we are now meeting Margot Qualley as Sue.
Yeah.
We did forget one scene, and I feel like it should be mentioned, is the scene where his name is Harvey, the boss.
Yeah, the boss.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's eating shrimp. I'm pretty sure that scene happened right before she took the substance.
Yeah,
that scene was disgusting.
Yeah,
and I love how many people cringed at that scene.
Yeah, the thing was, it was to show how little people care about the appearances of men.
Yeah, those so kept up as much.
There's like, it's like fish islands. It's like very disgusting, very visceral. Very just like messy and greasy.
I love
and
that.
It's so crazy because it's
but
like
then people will come to him.
Yeah,
they'll be like, oh, like Harvey, like what are you doing? Like they shake his hands, they pat his back, and it's like.
There's two additional things I love about that. Is that one, he's biting the heads off shrimps and sucking the life out of them and then throwing the shell. It's like what he does to the people he works for.
He
employs. It's like, wow, what a
no, exactly.
what a cool way to display that.
On top of that, it's like he's shown as this gross, disgusting person, and
not the actor,
and then he has like the right to just be like, oh, we got to get rid of her. She's gross.
She's gross.
She's gross.
He's covered in grease. He's got like,
and everybody agrees
with
him. Everybody agrees with him. They're like, oh no, he's right. He's definitely right. And then the fuck.
And then the painfully obvious comparison to real life circumstances of the name Harvey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I was like, no way they didn't.
I don't know how I missed that the first time around, but when I found out his name was Harvey, I was like, oh.
If you guys don't know about that, we're not going to mention that here.
You're not going to mention it, but look up Harvey Weinstein.
We don't make money off this channel, but if we mention that name, we're going to lose money on this channel.
So, I thought those were two things that were worth mentioning before we carried on with it.
Yeah, and it is a little bit of like self-sabotaging in the pursuit of self-worth. Because the thing is, once she gets this new body and she like rebrands herself as Sue, she just goes back to Harvey to take her old job back.
Yeah, and the whole time too, I was like, wait, so I thought she was gonna get a new job somewhere else, but no, she's going back to this.
It's because she goes back to what she knows. Her only vision of self-worth is what she's accomplished.
I know, and
instead of trying to make herself something better or new, she just goes back to the
and it's just a circle. Like it's just gonna go back to it. And even if she managed to pull this off and like live an entire lifetime,
what is the end game at that point?
It's gonna be the same thing towards the end,
Yeah, it's fantastic. and we also forgot to mention what's his name, Fred. She saw Fred right before her
old
car
school
accident.
mate.
Oh, it was right after.
Right after the accident, she runs into an old schoolmate, Fred. Absolute wonderful gentleman. Was always enamored with her.
The only guy that wasn't a piece of shit.
What did he know? Like 10th grade or something?
Yeah, you know, for like high school or something.
She's like, oh my God, it's Elizabeth Sparkle. Like, you know, like you were always so beautiful. Like, you know, I've been following your career. Like, you've been doing such a good job. Like, you look so amazing.
Basically, what the audience is like, it's like
basically what we were thinking. We're like, dude, like, there's nothing wrong with her. You know,
I believe you.
Yeah,
you're the only good person in the story right now.
So
and it's a little bit of I don't know how to take that, like how you guys interpreted this part of the film, but when he's like, oh, let me give you my number, because she's kind of like, oh, like I'm not really interested, but she's like, you know what, like I'm gonna leave some options open, and he starts writing his number on a piece of paper, and he drops it in the water, and then he's like, shoot, and then instead of just making another one, he just picks it up out of the puddle, and gives it to her.
I think that's still the same thing that Bobby was saying. Like, he's at the end of the day, he's still a man, so it's like, he just, even though he's a great guy, there's still that part of him who's like, I don't care what people think of me. I'm me, you know? Like, if you want to talk to me by being me, so be it. And if you don't have to, you know?
When I saw that scene, I was like, I don't think he thinks he even has a shot. I think he's just shooting his shot.
No, and the thing is that
but he should have rewrote that.
He should have rewrote
that. Of course
Fred,
he should have.
Fred.
He should have. But the thing is that I took it as kind of like, he's the kind of guy who's like, if she wants to talk to me, then it's going to be because she wants to talk to me. I'm not pretending to be anybody else. Like, this is who I am, and I'm not here to fake anything, which is a big theme in the movie of trying to fake who you are.
I think that's a nice perspective to look at it.
Yeah,
I didn't give it too much thought, but I thought he was just kind of
like the dumb.
No, yeah, it was dumb.
It might just like for comedy beats.
For comedy beats, but it was also more so like.
But
he was more
comical beats.
It's not that he didn't care about himself. I don't think he perceived himself as like anything. I think it was more so.
Yeah, not like that. I just feel like it was dumb that he dropped and he should have gotten a new piece of paper. But I'm saying, like, obviously they
weren't in short supply.
The filmmakers made that shot to kind of let the audience know, like, okay, like this guy he's not, you know.
He's not the brightest.
Yeah, he's not the
sharpest
brightest,
tool in the shed.
and he's not pretending to be the brightest either. This is how he is, and this is how he's gonna be. You know?
I did perceive Elizabeth in that moment to be like, she's above him. He's beneath her. That's the vibe you got immediately.
That's a good way to put it.
But yeah, those are all necessary things to mention. Mm-hmm. So much of this movie's so maniacally thought out. It's great.
Yeah, but you know more about the movie. So after that, so she takes the substance.
Yes,
she becomes Sue. She goes back to work for Harvey,
and then that beautiful prosthetic scene of her,
Sue
being birthed.
Fun fact: I don't know if you guys know about this in the research you did, but they referenced that scene at the Oscars with Conan O'Brien.
No, I didn't see it.
Where Conan is crawling out of that prosthetic. So instead of Margaret Qualley, it's
Conan.
Conan crawls out of the body and then he forgets his shoe, so he has to go back inside, and he comes out with the shoe. Yeah, if we can find a clip, we'll try and play it.
That's great.
But that whole transformation scene was so beautiful. Like it was. I believe everything was pretty practical.
Yeah, you were correct about that. The portal scene where she, where it was like a light show.
Oh, it's just
that was practical. I actually,
because
I have screenshots to show
it looked exactly like the shot from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Towards the end of the movie, they have a similar shot, and it's same thing. It's just like it's supposed to be them going through like like a port or something. And it's the same thing, just light strips going crazy, and that was filming like '67. So for the time, them shooting that, it's like, what the hell? How did they do that? You know,
the birth process of Sue, I love, because it's like the closest a woman gets near death is giving birth, and like,
which is ironic because that's also close
giving
to
life.
Giving
exactly.
life.
That's true.
The only chance you get when you're giving life is humans, and it's like the visceral birthing process it perfectly encapsulates that same level. It's like they took that beautiful thing that it can be, it's just horrified it.
Yeah.
Like, and that is crazy in itself.
Well, I mean, childbirth.
Yes,
is
I know. I was
horrifying.
trying to not say that.
As a father, you're just like, I can't do anything. Like I just have to sit here.
I'm just moral support.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
And I love the imagery because the movie starts off with like the that single cell like kind of
the egg, yes,
splitting into two, and it's like you see that same image in her eyeball.
Oh yeah,
like her eyeball is just slowly splitting to two, and then it just kind of like splits away, and I was like, oh my god,
that scene was so cool.
That scene was so cool. I was like, holy shit, like it's so brutal, but at the same time it's so interesting, you know? Like I mean, it's literally that, just like this monster just being born. Really,
it's the best parts of you being ripped out of you, and most people would argue that their children are the best parts of them.
Right.
And it's like,
I guess
the parallel is nuts. Like, yeah.
But I'm gonna kind of speed run the next part because, like I said, for me, I don't think there's a lot of story to
this
the film.
fucking guy. He's like, let me just speed up to the most important parts.
Yeah. if you guys like, oh, well, this scene is important, right? Like, let me know. But
you good.
But
I'm doing it.
So as far as I know,
we're good.
So Sue becomes super popular, right? She's getting her own show, whatever.
Gets her whole stardom started.
She switches back, and Elizabeth is sort of getting jealous, which is a little ironic because the guy who gave it to her is like, hey, there's no me or her. You're just one person.
Yeah, you're still her.
Like, you're just one person.
I love
and
that line.
You can't blame yourself for your own actions. Or you have to blame yourself for your own actions, your own consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So Sue eventually kind of starts taking the mantle. She starts extending a little bit at a time.
Right. Well,
she's going past the 7 days.
Yeah. I mean, Sue, it's technically Elizabeth. She wants to be here longer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she starts extending the days.
Yes.
However, the problem with that is the substance has to be switched every 7 days or so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you start getting physical defects on your original body.
Yeah.
So the first day, Sue goes a little over, maybe a couple hours
for a little snoo.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
For a little cuddle buddies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that I did like that scene. The contrast between how she's treated by the same guy, the biker guy.
Yeah,
as
following
Sue, as
day.
opposed to
dude, he's such a fucking
What was
asshole.
his name? It was like Tony.
Who the hell cares?
Probably.
Fuck that guy, man.
Screw that guy. Motorcycle guy.
Motorcycle guy. But
she did the right thing throwing his helmet out. But it starts off with a defect in her finger. It's very aged. It's not even so much aged as it's like deformed.
Like decayed or something.
It looks decaying.
It looks like an allergic reaction. That's what it.
No, what the hell kind of allergic reaction did
my
you
son
ever get
has
as
so
a kid?
many. I don't have any allergies. My son has allergies.
That finger was gray and brittle. Like
it looked like she was gonna point at you and be like,
my cute baby looks like he has like dragon scales when he has allergic reaction.
Dragon scales. Okay.
Shedding.
But it basically goes back and forth between Elizabeth and Sue, where Sue is slowly becoming the more dominant figure in the relationship. She starts taking more and more advantage of the amount of time that she should have.
I'll wait till we get done with that, but there's so much I want to talk about that, and as a perspective wise.
Yes.
So before you get further, are you getting to the part where that same night she actually has a little bit of a breakthrough, Elizabeth, where she's all like, no, you know what? I don't want to be that person. I want to be
Not yet.
me.
But that's one scene that I did enjoy.
You did enjoy.
Okay,
I think that's probably the most emotional scene of the film.
That's one of the best. That's after her finger rods, right?
It's that same day. Because
I didn't even notice that her days were a full week. Like she was Elizabeth for the full week.
Yeah.
It felt like
it's here for a day, basically. Well, it feels like a day.
I didn't notice that until I was revisiting the movie.
They speed run past Elizabeth's days.
Yeah.
Where they kind of linger a little bit more on.
It feels so long before, like in between.
Yeah.
Like, and for us, it's just like quick glimpses.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of done purposely to kind of show you how much more attention Sue is getting.
Yeah, exactly. It's like filmed the way
it feels.
Yeah,
it's filmed the way it feels.
Great.
Which is great because it's like Sue in the movie is getting the most attention, and in the film we're giving Sue the most attention too.
And Elizabeth just becomes that thing we just using as a vessel to get through what we got to get through.
Yeah,
it's literally
exactly.
like
it's fucking crazy. They're manipulating us, man.
But so she calls to complain. She's like, "Hey, she's stealing my time. Like she messed up my finger." And the guy's like, "Hey, there's no you or her.
What do you mean she? You mean you?
Like this is all you.
Yeah.
Like you're doing this. Like did you want to stop?" And she kind of thinks about it for a little bit. She's like,
well,
no,
I want
like,
to stop her. He's like, what are you talking about?
I don't want to stop. But then she remembers Fred's number, and she's like, you know what? Like, I want to do something for myself.
Yeah,
Not that's just for other
to,
people's like appearance wise or whatever. She's like, I'm gonna hit up Fred. So she calls Fred, and he's like, oh my god, like I didn't even think you would call. Like, this is so great. Like, yeah, like what do you want to do?
He was very, that conversation was very cringy because he's all like, what did he say?
So they were just dead silent. He's like,
he was stunned.
I'm stunned. I'm so sorry. I'm so shocked. And it's like, okay.
Or she's like, yeah, like, do you want to maybe get a drink? He's like,
I'm
hello?
sorry.
Hello? Oh, sorry.
I'm just so shocked.
I'm so shocked. He's like, yeah, like, let's meet at this bar at 7. She's like, yeah, that sounds good.
This guy's like a goat.
Silent.
You know when you
It's
scare
like,
a hamster?
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's like,
I'm stunned. And he stunned a hamster too hard.
That's pretty accurate.
He stunned a hamster too hard, it dies.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads into the most heart-wrenching scene in the film, at least for me.
It was.
Apparently, it was like 50 takes.
50 takes?
Yeah.
Well, however long it took, they got the perfect one.
Yeah, it's insane.
50 takes for what?
Just doing that scene over and over again.
Which scene are you talking about?
Where she's taking off her makeup.
Where she's up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was pretty. That's one of the highlights of the movie to me, to portray her acting.
It was referenced a lot in the trailers too.
I'll go so far as to say that's probably one of my favorite scenes of the film.
I agree completely.
It reminds me. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie I, Tonya.
No.
But there's a scene in the movie where I think what's her name again? The actress that plays Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad.
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie. So she plays Tonya as an ice skater, and now I'm not gonna explain the whole movie, but there's a scene where like she's having a mental breakdown, but she has to go out and skate, but she has to put up a smile, you know. So same thing. She's like putting on her makeup, and then she starts fucking it up, and she hits herself, and then she just kind of like cleans it all up. She smiles, and then she goes out, you know, and it's like
kills it.
And she almost makes it.
Yeah.
She almost makes it. She sees a big poster soon. It was like, you know what? I'm not going.
Heartbreaking.
Huh? Come on,
and the thing
dude.
is, I was saying, most heartbreak one of the heartbreaking things about that scene is, if she had just called Fred, it would have reaffirmed her conviction to leave the house. And if she had left the house, it would have been really healthy for her. But because she's so stuck in her own mind that she's not good enough, she's not pretty enough, that she has no self-worth.
She's nothing without
she's
the
nothing
audience.
Without it.
Exactly.
It's
like, dude, you have no idea. Like, there's people out there that see you as like artists for who you are.
Yeah.
You know, and she just doesn't see that.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like it's a self-hatred that she can't escape from.
It's the thing. Here's the thing too, that it's like, you know, she's gained all this fame and all this money over years. Like, just judging from like her apartment, like you can see that she has a really nice apartment, but that's all there is. It's just nice, you know. Without that, she really doesn't have anything. Like, all she has is just, you know,
like if you look at her living situation, so outside of the kitchen is just the living room, which has a beautiful view of the city, which is like kind of dystopian because it's like Hollywood, but it's not Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'll explain that later too. That's pretty cool.
And then if you look at it, it's one chair and one TV, and I think a coffee table. Yeah. And that's all she has.
Because it's just her.
And then a giant portrait of herself.
Yeah.
It's just lonesome. You know, she's lonely, and they never mention like a mother, a father,
no
a
family at all.
No family. So it's like it kind of explains the character itself, because like that fame that she's always looking for, like that's all she has. So in a way, I kind of understand why she's always wanting to get that. But it's so sad that it's like you can have this other kind of, you know, importance in her life, but she wants that.
Yeah.
It's like there's more to life than what she has, but she is successful.
That's all she's known. That's all she's known.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
So it's just crazy. Yeah. And back to that silent moment, because I know we have just a couple minutes left.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just the raw emotions in that scene, the pain in her eyes.
Yeah.
The fact that she doesn't even really speak in that scene at all.
No, not at all.
And you know exactly
it's
what's
a completely silent.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Segment of the film where the emotions are so raw and so visceral that you understand everything that's happening without anything needing to be spoon fed.
Exactly.
I remember because we watched this together, and when she was trying to get out the door, And I was just like, she just looks at the billboard. It's like, just leave.
No,
just
yeah.
go.
The
You're
minute
like,
she looked at the
"No."
billboard, I was like,
She
God
was
damn
right
it.
there.
And then she went back and said 15 minutes left, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then
And then all the
eventually-
messages like, hey, like I'm
Like,
here.
are you here?
Are
Are
you,
you
on
coming?
your way?
Did I do something wrong?
Is
Like,
everything
Yeah.
okay?
I was like,
yeah, everything okay. That's what he says.
Yeah.
So last time we were talking about was the scene where she kind of just
Heart-wrenching scene.
heart-wrenching scene where she leaves poor Fred on red. You
Yes.
know. After that scene, she goes on a eating binge eating.
Depressed eating.
Yeah.
Eat your
Yeah.
emotions.
We all been there
The only type of eating I have.
on a daily basis.
Yeah.
No, I just eat to survive.
I wake up and I feel like Demi Moore.
Anyway, she just starts eating a bunch of different foods, you know, like anything she can get her hands off. The following day, right? Or
The
no?
following week, every
Sure, the
every
following
scene is
week.
a week apart.
Yeah, we kind of lose tracks of how the time, you know, duration. But we have Sue. Sue comes back. You know, she goes to one of her gigs to do some aerobics.
On her new show, Pump It Up.
There you go. It was Pump It Up.
Yeah.
Her show is Pump It
Her
Up.
show was Pump It Up, but I don't remember what.
Ah,
Liz,
okay. All right. Good
Elizabeth.
point. And good old fashioned, just like Smile too. I did bring this up. She starts dancing, and a little plump comes out of her left cheek. It just kind of plumps, you know. And she freaks out, and she's like, "What the hell?" You know. And she looks, and it's fine, you know. I did mention this. I mentioned this like Smile too, where they were what's it called, rehearsing for the music video. It's like same thing. It was like a whole like dance show, singing, music, whatever, and boom, broken leg. You know, in this one, you know, music video, dancing, whatever, boom, left lump. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, she flips out. She's like, "What the hell?" And it's like, anything wrong?
The thing that makes it worse is the paranoia that she felt, because they're like, all right, it's fine. We'll take a quick break. Like, hey, well, let's check the footage. She's like, oh, like don't check the
You
footage.
don't have to check the footage. Like, no,
And they go,
we have to
we'll
check.
check it. Hey, camera 2, and it's like right on her butt.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
zoom in,
it's
zoom
like-
in.
it's
She's
It's
literally an object.
Like,
Like,
everybody get
Yeah,
in?
dude, yeah, and
you,
it's like-
you
take a
pointed
look
out
at
when we watched it, like, is this a parody? What are they doing?
yeah, and it's so funny because it makes it's comical, you know?
Yeah, it's so absurd that it's comical.
Because you see everybody from set just looking in that little fucking monitor, and they're just zooming into her left cheek, you know? And obviously
funny.
she's
That
really
reminded me of Transformers.
left
like
cheek.
where are we zooming in? Left cheek, left cheek, left cheek. But so she finds a lump,
Yeah.
and she moves it through her body. Out of her
Oh,
belly button
fuck.
is a undigested like chicken leg.
Drumstick.
Yeah.
This is a very Cronenberg scene where it's just you have items in your body
Well,
that
let me ask you this: Do you
Sure.
think that actually happens? Because that scene cuts pretty abruptly.
well, here's
I
the
was torn because I was
thing.
like, it could be real, but it doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah.
I was like, I think it's.
But then the rest of the movie happens. You're like, well, maybe it was real.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's she might have gained weight and viewed it like that.
like oh, I just have food in me.
I'm just disgusting.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect. I'm no longer like she's ruining me.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, you could say that it's like, oh, it was just an illusion. Yes, it could be just her. But at the same time, it's like, can you
Because
explain
nobody
the ending?
brings
Did
that
the
up.
ending really happen? You know, like
Yeah, nobody even acknowledged it. And then they did
No.
that zoom in, and no one like mentioned the lump in any way for
Yeah.
him. Because the following scene after that is where he calls her into the office. He wants
Yeah.
to see
Well,
you
she
now.
goes into record. She's like, all right, guys, you ready? And then they're like, oh, we're not filming today.
Yeah, not this
Like
morning.
Harvey wants to see you in his office, and she's thinking like, what's happening? Like,
shit,
maybe
they're gonna
what-
get fired
they saw
again.
something,
You know? Yeah,
you
all
know?
this for nothing.
That's not what happened. Instead, it's good news. She's actually set to host the New Year's Eve party, which I thought it was gonna, counterbalance like, oh, like maybe it's gonna be on Elizabeth's weekend or like Elizabeth's week or something like that. They don't really say so, because you kind of find a little bit later that it's actually 3 months from then.
Yeah.
And that's when, she switches back, right? And I don't know what happened exactly, but Elizabeth's like, I'm just gonna seclude myself. Because
She says you would understand.
Sue takes more time,
Mm-hmm.
right? and it ruins Elizabeth's body even more so. Her legs messed up, or like basically one whole side just completely degrading,
like decaying and all that. Yeah.
So she took like an extra day or something,
and she took like an extra week.
I don't
because that's the part where there's a bunch of vials.
Yeah.
And she's like, you would understand, like no pain, no
I'm
gain.
I'm doing this for us.
Yeah, like she you know what it means to sacrifice. I think that was the line of the movie. And
but when she does switch back,
this is where we get that
the
montage of like her, just kind of like taking spinal fluid and just injecting and just kind of like it keeps stacking up and stacking up and stacking up, and that's okay. So then this is where we're getting to where she actually finally has to switch back.
Yeah, so she's forced to switch back.
Yeah,
because the spinal fluid is coming out blood. Like
right.
there's nothing left. Legit just tapped herself dry, and she has to switch back.
She has to switch back, and then we see Demi Moore's body just extremely aged.
Yeah,
she looks like
Gray
she's
hair,
like 90.
lumps on her body.
Yeah.
Okay, which one are you talking about? You're talking about the one where it was just her leg, and she tries to cancel, or are you guys talking about when it's the full blown like?
We're talking about the full.
Just the leg.
Just the leg.
Just the leg for now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the foot.
Yeah. So you're just because it happens twice.
Yeah.
So the first time Sue is taking extra for the career. She's doing it so that way she can do interviews and do extra time and practice. And then she's like, you would understand because you were in this position at some point. Again, you are the same person. Yeah. So we have done this before. It's burning the candles at both ends.
It's weird because as much as they're reminded that they're one entity, they disassociate. And it's like, oh, well, that's
and I'm dying to talk about that later. Yeah,
that's her issue. This is my problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then when she wakes up, she notices her leg is just insane, and then she has gray hair, and she calls the substance like operator. And he's like, she won't respect the balance. He's like, you're not respecting the balance. Yeah. Remember, you are one.
Yeah.
You're one person.
Yes.
And as the movie goes
she's
on,
like, would you like to cancel? Because you can't revert anything at this point, but you can stop. You can stop from making it get worse.
Right.
And that's when she's contemplating because she doesn't know whether she can't. It's almost like she's not alive without the audience, without the show.
Attention.
Yeah, it's like she's just slowly dying.
So she's basically, her losing her job is the equivalency of death to her, and Sue is the only thing that brings any kind of life to it.
Yeah.
So she feels the need to stay, but she gets back at her by going on a cookout.
Yeah.
because she sees an interview
That's so disgusting.
where Sue
they go like, oh, like you took Elizabeth Sparkle's job. Like, were you a big fan of her?
That was jacked.
She's like, who?
She's like, my mom.
She said, my mom used to watch her.
She's not really my style, and it's like she's insulting herself. It's what she thinks of her old self.
Yeah.
So that voice can still be interpreted in her own head.
Yeah.
How she views herself.
As the movie goes on, like even though they're the same person, she starts developing this like separate person. Yeah, like
self-hatred personified.
Both of them, personalities start splitting more and more and more, where they start fighting with each other.
Until they actually start fighting with each other.
Yeah, until they,
and
we'll get there soon.
So she goes on a binge eating and she covers up the billboard that's now in front of her window of Sue. She gets some water and starts
throwing
plastering
eggs
it
at the window and starts using.
She goes ham and queso on those freaking on everything. She gets that cookbook. It's pretty nuts. And then you get the best line delivery of this movie, and it's when Sue's like, control yourself. And, dude, I was like, that was so good.
Shit's funny.
That was amazing. And then that's when she gets spiteful. That's when she does it to be malicious.
But
and that's when she goes
overboard. Do you think there was a deeper meaning behind that? Because the cookbook she uses was
so many.
Yeah.
I'm doing my like
the cookbook she uses was a retirement gift from Harvey. And the whole team.
Exactly. Which obviously is such a, I don't know, it's such a douchebag move from him. It's like, oh, here's a parting gift to cookbook, in a way
we all pitched in for this.
It's like the most extreme misogynistic way to go about it. He's replacing her with a younger person
and then go back to the kitchen.
You literally you're only good for cooking now.
And what pissed me off too, it's like, oh, we all pitched in for this. It's a book, bro. Like, no, they're not all like if they weren't all millionaires,
It's like when your wife gets the gift for your child and she's like, this is from both of us. You're like, I don't know what's inside there.
Yeah.
Don't you lie to my baby.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I had nothing to do with that gift.
Yeah.
Baby shark, not on my watch. But so she starts being really spiteful. So then she just starts completely taking advantage of the situation. So as soon as Sue is back in control, it's nonstop interviews, nonstop.
It's almost like
parties,
she just
meet
wants
and
to
greets.
erase her.
Yeah.
But not, but like for like not like it's because when you're young, you don't think of the consequences of your own body.
Yeah.
But it's not coming out of her own body; it's coming out of somebody else's.
Yeah. It's
So-
almost it's like going on a party binge, but you're
The party's never gonna end.
the party's not gonna end. You're young, you know, you have a job, you're famous, you have everything to celebrate for, but you don't realize the part on the other side of your body where it's like, hey, this is gonna affect you
Long term.
in the long term.
Yes, and it's great. I loved it.
Yeah.
And-
Such a good metaphor, just like in your face.
Yeah,
and
and once again, she's forced to swap. It's unsustainable. You have to switch.
yes, and at
You
this
have to
point,
switch.
Like no
she's living with a
matter.
guy.
Yeah.
She has a boyfriend that's like staying at her place.
Yeah, yeah.
She's completely overhauled the whole like house.
Yeah, the house looks completely different.
Yeah.
And then she's forced to switch, and she does not want to, but she's literally losing consciousness. She cannot stay
Yeah.
awake. And when we get Elizabeth waking up, we get some of the best practical effects I've seen in a long time.
Far, yeah.
Oh my gosh! We get this
what
like
comparison would you give in terms of like the level of body horror that you receive once Elizabeth is awoken that final time?
I say from
Hold on, that final time
not the fun. He's talking about when Elizabeth was woken the final time. This is the final time
Oh,
Elizabeth
got
is
you,
woken.
got you.
Yeah.
I would
So-
compare it to The Fly, dude.
The Fly.
I think so. And by fly, I mean like by the evolution portions of like how much she's decaying and aging over time. You know, like and each time you see less and less resemblance to her. You know.
For me, the big reminder was the original Witch. Was that the name of the movie? The one with there was a remake.
The original witch.
No, it's not Bewitched. It's a movie with a bunch of witches that are like have like go into
Was
a
it
hall.
witches?
It might be witches.
Would
I
they
had
get the kids and turn them into mouses?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
From the original. I've seen
The
the
original one, yeah,
I've seen
no.
the CGI with the. Well, I saw the more recent
Yeah,
one. That one's
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But the original,
Uh-huh.
that's the level of like prosthetics we're going here. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Hell yeah.
The last thing I saw recently with crazy prosthetics was Slither when we watched it together, but I haven't seen
Yeah.
anything with that like crazy level of body horror
Yeah.
in a long
Yeah.
time. And at this point in the movie, I was like, wow, like they really went for it. I don't remember anything in modern
in modern cinema where
yeah,
it was
because like
that
movies,
level of like uncomfort.
great movies like this, like Hereditary, they never go this
That
level.
far, yeah.
They
It's
always
always like some
A looming doom.
yeah.
There's always something
They
coming.
always shy away just before you get any kind of big
Yeah.
reveal.
Yeah.
Where this one was very up in front
Oh,
about
fucking this guy.
And
This is why this movie's better than Hereditary. Oh, get out of here, dude.
it. Hey, check his rating for this movie, and then check his rating for Hereditary.
Then you get to like Smile, where the first Smile movie had a great practical effects,
Yeah.
crazy prosthetics.
Yeah, yeah.
But then they didn't go as hard as this scene did.
Yeah.
No
and this
way.
scene,
No
because
way.
literally like running through hallways, different angles. The moment where she's dragging Sue by her leg and fucking,
Oh,
"Rah!"
no, dude.
Yeah, but just
Terrifying,
before
like-
just before that, just before that, she sees Elizabeth sees what's happening to her body.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
basically looks like a mass at this point. She no longer resembles a person.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame is like
She
the
calls.
first thing you think
She
of.
calls and she's like, "I want to terminate.
Stop,
It.
yeah.
Just stop
Make
everything."
it stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
horrible.
She
Yeah.
goes to terminate once she picks up the material. She goes to terminate Sue, and about halfway through, she's like, "I can't." It's just kind of like that realization moment where it's like, "This is
can't-
all.
I can't
This is
just
all I'm
live,
worth."
yeah.
yeah, she can't. She still, after everything she's gone through,
Yeah,
cannot
dude.
accept it.
And it's so frustrating because it's like, I kind of get it at that point because at that point, it's like, you're just gone too far. You cannot live the rest of your life like that, you know?
Well, she already considers herself dead, though.
I
that's
I
the
know,
thing with her.
but that's fine. But she already considers herself dead, so it's like, why not just grab a little bit of that consciousness that you still have
Well,
and then
because
just
I
put
think
it to the other
I
body?
think the thing you have to consider is because she considers herself dead, but she would be killing the last part of herself that she still finds respectable.
Yeah, basically.
So that's why she stopped midway through the
I
transformation.
can understand. Like it's horrible. That's why. Like
Yeah, this it's really heavy subject matter for the movie, but I
Yeah.
think that's what it is. It's just
and
you can't bear to let yourself go when the only part of yourself you still respect is that part of your life.
There's a side character we're not bringing up, and he really is kind of irrelevant. Like he adds a little bit to the story, but not enough to where I feel necessary to like constantly bring him up. which was the neighbor.
Oh, the neighbor.
The neighbor.
Fuck, what's his name again?
Because
Oliver.
I don't remember.
I think it was Oliver. Yeah.
Yeah, but in case you're wondering why we didn't bring him up, I just don't feel relevant to
He
the main
didn't
story.
matter.
Yeah, he was just a salt on the wound that already existed.
Two
Yeah.
comedic, he had like two like comedic moments, which was the first introduction he has to Sue, where he's like complaining. He's like, "Oh, Elizabeth Sparkles, you're making all this noise."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm Sue." Then you he's like, "Oh, well, like
Yeah.
it's fine now.
It's a
'cause
whole-
you're
it's
young and attractive."
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, the whole
You can
purpose
make all
is
the noise
like
you want.
you're worthless to me unless you're attractive. That's
Yeah.
literally
Exactly.
that's the only purpose of that character.
And
so,
then the second part, which I liked, was
where he scares her.
when she scares her, it's like, "Move!" It's like, okay.
Yeah.
That's why I bring it up now because that's
Yeah.
it's just a quick like we didn't forget about him.
No.
So then
Never
she
forgot
goes,
Oliver.
gets a termination, and this is one of the like craziest scenes in the movie. So at this point, I'm like, we're at peak horror.
Yeah.
This is peak horror, and that's what I'm like.
It was like you're like elevated horror, and then now we're in like
Yeah.
actual like here's
Nah,
stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Not only am I sitting up, but my eyes are glued to the TV.
No, yeah, exactly.
I really
I
was like,
I was gonna make a joke, but Leo doesn't like when I make jokes, so he's gonna edit out. So I'm gonna just not say it.
yeah, just don't censor me.
Exactly.
But no,
That's what the movie's about.
really though, it was great. And then I'm gonna let one of you guys explain the freaking Spartan level fight we get.
So she
Amazing.
she
Amazing.
stops the termination,
Right.
and this causes Sue to awaken at the same time,
Yes.
and she sees the vial of termination
It's like
syringe.
what?
And, yeah, we were saying like, oh, it's just like Project Almanac when she woke up, but it quickly goes from fight or flight, and she goes and she doesn't fly. So,
Oh, she
she's-
definitely flew.
Elizabeth flew.
Yeah, it is like
So it's basically.
Did I just hear the? I didn't hear a bell.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
hear no bell ring.
exactly. Yeah.
But it was basically, I think in her mind and Sue's mind, it was kill or be killed.
Yeah, life or death.
So she
Also, an enormous amount of rage and all that self hate. Now in
Now
front
manifesting-
of you. Yeah,
yeah.
I can hurt. I can hit it.
I
now.
can hurt you now.
Yeah.
You're not just
Before
something
it was
lying in my
just
bathroom.
like, oh, I have to just hurt it, like emotionally and like what's it called, mentally, you know. But now it's like,
Now I can throw
yeah,
haymakers at you.
game's on right now. Yeah.
And obviously, Sue has the advantage. She's younger body, like
Stronger.
Yes, like
Somehow, fucking.
she's like extra strong. For
yeah,
this
she's
scene.
extra strong.
But I do feel like there's the level of absurdity in this movie is amplified for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it's like everything is very like everything's gassed up from the moment Harvey was eating the shrimp, the sound design, everything was super sick. So like, so yeah, we get this crazy fight scene, and it's not even like a fight scene; it's a beatdown.
It's a beatdown.
And I was satisfied with
What was it? Because she's banging her face in the mirror or whatever.
yes,
right?
and I was
my
satisfied
God,
with it. I was like,
dude.
And she's-
the gore was immaculate. I was like, oh
and
my
she Spartan
god.
kicks her into the ground, and you think that's it, but no, she just starts beating her.
Yeah.
Just start kicking her, and then the side just
So we
kicks her and
we
kicks
most
her.
likely can't show a clip of that, but if
No,
you've
no.
seen the first season finale of Invincible, it's pretty close.
Yeah,
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
that's a good. Yeah.
That's a good comparison. I
Yeah.
agree.
She's like, think.
Yeah. But my,
Think, Elizabeth, think.
it was crazy because I like my level, like my satisfaction with gore was the mirror smashing scene.
Yeah, and
And
then
I was like-
they were like, we could keep it coming.
And then they did Spartan kick, and I was like, damn. And then they kept going.
And
and I
just
was like,
get kicking and kicking
wow.
and kicking.
It's like
just-
when you go to Olive Garden and you almost finish your breadsticks, but then they bring you more breadsticks before you have to
It's like,
ask.
calm down. Let me finish this first.
I'm not even done digesting what
I
just
know,
happened.
yeah.
and then I think the scene that follows is where a lot of people get checked out. It's right after what's about to happen. So she now killed Elizabeth.
So now it's her world now.
Yes, it is just Sue's world.
It's just Sue.
But again, not thinking about the consequences. And she realizes it right after that moment of emotional release. She's like, oh crap.
Post nut clarity.
Yeah,
killing
post-nut
someone.
clarity.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, oh god, I actually needed her. What did I just do?
yeah.
But whatever. She goes on with her week, I guess.
Yeah, so she goes to because it's the day before.
Is it a day before? Or
It is
like
literally
the
the
same
the day
week?
before.
The day before
Okay. And
the
the New
New
Year's Eve.
Year's Eve, yeah.
And she goes to the restroom and oh no, she gets dizzy, right? And then she goes to the restroom and then her tooth falls out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like it was a chef kiss because it's like it shows how fragile beauty is.
Yeah.
Not only
It
that,
was literally
but it's
just
like,
one tooth,
no, I know.
and that was gonna ruin her.
But
Like,
the thing is that obviously she's like a beauty icon, and one of the worst things that can happen is something to happen to your face,
to your smile.
and for your tooth to fall out. That's like, I don't. Even though it's something so small, it's something so critical in your front image. You
Yeah.
know. So that just killed her. That I feel like that right there was just like, I'm done. I am done with this.
And then the cherry on top, two more teeth fall out.
Yeah.
and then we get this hallway scene with all the investors in the show. Executives.
Oh, like that. This is the girl we're talking about. She's gonna be hosting tonight. Like, hey, well, give us a smile.
Yeah.
And I think that was another scene that was highlighted.
Be happy about it. Yeah.
In the trailer.
First of all, beautiful smile. Second of all, amazing scene of just like her.
Like breaking down, like forcing herself to
yes,
smile.
and no one can see the pain she's in because she's just an object to everyone.
Yeah.
Especially in the hallway or where she's in the elevator and her ear falls off. It's like
and she can't even
hear. Yeah. And people are talking to her like, oh, break a leg, good luck. You're amazing.
Yeah.
They don't even see her like she's in pain, suffering, and broad daylight, and they can't see it.
And even those executives too, like when they walk away, like they were all the same.
Cartoony.
They're so cartoony. They all look the same.
That's the absurdity.
They all have like bald spots, white hair, white men. It's just like
they walk away together.
And they're like, you ever seen the fucking we saw it recently. It reminded me of the music video for that one anime with Dan. Yeah, the big smiley dude.
Yeah,
it's kind of like running like that.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of them just running down the hall like that, like all cartoony and like ridiculous like that. But it just goes to show you that it's like she's a pawn to them. This is their game, and she's not even playing. She's just like their pawn.
And Sue's reality is she's getting a reality check. And remember, she is still Elizabeth.
Yeah.
So it's like she knew this was going to happen, but she couldn't see it because she was blinded by her youth. So then we get into the climax. This is where I think everyone just like if you weren't into
should we break right here and then go right into the climax? All right. Ready. We're gonna really switch through and all right, we're back. Cool transition.
The climax of this movie. This is where I think some people love theaters.
One of the main things that you see when the substance starts is the activator.
Yes.
Activator. Yes, sir.
It specifically says only use once, but Sue is getting desperate and she needs to swap now. So she decides to use the activator on herself. But what happens when you make a duplicate of a duplicate?
Copy of a copy. You ever make 3 photocopies of the same thing? A copy of a copy?
You get a homunculus.
You get a homunculus. Pretty much. So one thing that we didn't mention is at the beginning of the movie, it starts off with a title sequence.
Right.
Name sequence. Elizabeth. Then we get Sue. We get Sue.
Yeah.
So now we're getting a culmination of both, and this is the.
It's like French and or I think it's French. It's like they call it Monstro Elizabeth or something like that. It's like Monstro Elizabeth.
Something similar to that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she becomes this homunculus, and it's still kind of one track minded,
right?
Because her thing is like, oh, I still have to perform. I need to do this. I need to do that.
Yeah.
So she gets ready, and I was saying it reminded me of Basket Case.
Yeah.
When she's getting ready, because she's like completely deformed, but she's putting on makeup. She's putting on earrings. She puts one earring in, and the other one she just looks close enough to an ear. Yeah.
The monster's name is Monstro Elasu.
Yeah, because it's a mixture.
Okay, that's cool.
I thought at this point, because you said it's all she knows, but I felt like this version of her is the most at peace with itself. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah,
like compared to the other two,
it's the most one that's most accepting. Like it's like I've never looked worse in my life. But fuck it. This is my life now. I'm gonna accept who I am.
I don't know if it because I imagine the cloning process, of course, will strip a little bit more from the original, but like a copy of a copy, it's like it's lost its narcissism, and just kind of became just like almost like a toddler. It was almost let's say
that. So the substance takes the best parts of you and removes it
genetically. Yes,
genetically or
it's genetically.
Overall?
It takes your best genetics.
Okay. Because I was like, what if it just removed all the toxicity from Sue, since she was basically the only manifestation left of like that? Like
the only that's left. Yeah, just fun way to think of it. But it very much felt like she almost felt like a toddler. She felt like a little kid.
Yeah, she's like
I'm gonna go do this because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
But like she's getting herself dressed. She's not freaking out. She sees herself in the mirror and she gets scared. But then once she recognizes that's her, it's just like, oh, okay, that's me.
Yeah.
Well, she puts a mask on. Remember, like she grabs the
At the very end,
Yeah, it's
just-
like she pulls a Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, that's
the
exactly
first
what I
one.
thought of.
The staple picture of Hugh Jackman to your face, and you're like,
And oh
I'm
god,
beautiful.
the body horror is so good.
Yeah, so this is
good.
This is the reason why they won best makeup. I feel like this is
yeah.
the scene.
The performance starts ramping up, and it's a little strange because
They're
it's
showgirls.
so unreal.
Yeah.
And you see the audience
Yeah,
is
what the
older men,
fuck?
older women. There's children
There's
in the
children
audience.
there,
And
yeah.
then there's
And then you
topless
see,
women.
yeah, you see
There's
the
like a
the stage.
burlesque show, and like,
Yeah.
and men and women like, oh, haha, just laughing, and kids are all cheering. It's like, what is this world?
Yeah,
what is
this?
what
Who is this for?
Yeah, who is this? Isn't this supposed to be like a New Year's show? But everything about this world just makes no sense.
Yeah.
You know, like it feels like a dream. You know when you have a
That's the thing.
dream?
I was
Yeah.
gonna say in terms of like what did this movie remind you of? It gave me that like it follows like everything feels so surreal.
Yes, and I was
Yeah,
gonna talk about
exactly.
that later.
Like
and
nothing
it-
makes
and it is-
sense,
it is
but
kind
it
of
just
like-
kind of go with the flow.
I'll talk about that with the Los Angeles
Yeah,
portion.
like you
There's
want
so much
to
stuff
you
like
want to
that.
think it's all in her head, and you could argue that, but I think the movie is much more enjoyable if you're like this is all
Yeah,
happening.
the
This
most
is all happening in this own like twisted universe.
you need to embrace the absurdity. You need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
see it for the spectacle it is, and feel what the emotions that you're that
That
they
are
literally
presenting for you.
Yeah, they give it to you.
Like it makes me feel lost in this world. Like it makes me feel like it's like I'm in the back rooms, but in the back rooms of like worlds. You know,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
like I don't know where to go.
But
I'm lost, dude.
the performance starts ramping up, and she comes out on stage, and once again, nobody's really paying attention to her
yeah, until she has the mic.
until she has the mic, and even then, they're not really reacting too much. And so
Yeah, you can see the showgirls realize like, oh shit. Like,
No,
okay,
but even then, did you realize that it's like they kind of like weren't reacting? You could see she's all deformed,
Yeah.
her shoulder, her
Yeah.
her legs, and
Her
they were all
second
like,
face.
they were all like, oh wow, like just looking at her. Even
Yeah.
like you can.
it
see,
wasn't
you can
until
tell how,
the mask falls.
yeah, and you can tell how stupid these people are. You know how they just see nothing but beauty. They don't see a person. They just look at what's beautiful in front of them. And at this point, it was that one picture. They didn't even notice there was a monster behind that picture.
And I love Harvey's line. He's like, this is what I built her up to be. This is who I made her.
Yeah.
And then it's like right before the reveal, but it's also like,
Very fucking.
what has he done that brought her up?
Yeah,
Literally nothing.
he gave her a job. That's it.
That's it. And yeah,
he
he
employed
gets
her,
all
but he's
the
taking
for
credit.
it.
He's trying to take credit for
Yeah.
For
her
Her
fame
yeah, which
and her
was,
beauty. And I like the double meaning behind that line.
Exactly,
Yeah,
it's awesome.
exactly.
It's like, oh, like, I did this to her, and it's like,
yeah.
Yes.
kinda, you did,
Yeah, to both versions were.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like you're such a scumbag. You did this to the same woman twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then once again it gets sad because it's like she allowed this to happen to her twice.
yeah.
And
And then
you-
this is where we get our like
That King Kong reference.
King Kong Carrie moment, like Monstroso. Like
Yeah.
it's
Well,
yeah.
her nipple falls out. Remember
No,
that?
she coughs up a nipple from one of her orifices.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
She coughs up a boob.
She coughs off a boob.
Yeah.
And it just
it's-
plops
and
on
it's-
stage.
Again, when I was talking about the foreshadowing being just out
Yeah.
of nowhere, earlier in the movie there was a scene where a dancer performer, right before Sue went to go perform, they're like, "Oh, she's a great dancer. Too bad there's not. She doesn't have a third boob where her nose is. 'cause
Yeah.
She's so
Yeah, like-
she's so like hideous or ugly.
Yeah.
She's not pretty enough to be this role.
Yeah.
And then Sue comes in and she's perfect. But
Then you got
You
this
literally get
monster
the foreshadowing of
who
that
looks
scene back.
disgusting,
Yeah.
who also has a boob next to his face.
teeth and stuff in the head.
Oh, fuck.
And then we get this like classic horror like
His
monster
arm.
montage.
Yeah.
Just
So
screaming.
like you said, it's a King Kong homage in the sense where the crowd is screaming and they're not doing anything. They're just screaming. They're staring at the spectacle.
yeah.
And Sue or Monstro Eliza Sue or whatever.
Yeah.
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 Horribly haunting line where she's like, "It's me," like it's me.
So
It's
sad.
me.
Yeah.
But they
It's like
don't.
she couldn't just set that in the beginning. Like I feel like that was Elizabeth's
Yeah, and it's-
talking,
well,
even though it's
it's
Sue.
both of them.
It's still just
It's just one
Elizabeth.
person.
It is, yeah, I guess
That's the
so.
crazy
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the voice design, like the sound design for her voice, is just it
So
sounds
many
so
good-
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like a monster, but it's just a monster who's just in pain, and it's
Yeah.
just it's It's so sad.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, like it's a monster! Like kill the monster!" Because
and it becomes like a cheesy like Frankenstein moment where it's like,
we gotta kill
kill the monster, and then like everyone has a pitchfork for whatever reason.
Well, no,
he got a golf club.
Yeah, but I was saying like
You're right. Absolutely. And we get this crazy moment of gore. I don't want to let you guys explain that scene.
Well, her arm, just like she's just fucking dropping body pieces. Like her ears falling off, her boob, like left boob falls out, and then her arm falls. For some reason, she has like a blood vein in her arm, and she just starts spraying
everyone has
the entire audience.
The blood, sweat, and tears, bro.
It's just, and that's where we lost our shit.
You know, the dance move, the sprinkler.
I can't believe they did this.
We were like, "What the hell is going on, dude?" Because there was so many points towards the end of the movie where I was like, "All right, this is where the movie's gonna end."
This is where most movies would have ended.
Yeah,
that's why this movie just really goes for it.
Exactly, and I was like, "Okay, this is where it's gonna end with her showing the monster side, and everybody's gonna scream." That's when the movie's gonna end, you know. And then no, just that last thing, and it was like it was goofy, but I feel like it was just the cherry on top. And it's like with the movie like this much body horror, that was like
you go for
top.
it.
You just go, they went for it, and like it kind of jumped the shark. But I was like, I'm glad they did it, because it's like
that part I didn't think was jumping the shark. The part that followed immediately after, I felt.
Oh yeah, a little bit, but it was very symbolic though.
Yeah, that part was symbolic.
That scene, I was like, I wasn't sure if it was too absurd when I first watched it, because in the moment when I watched it, I was like, this is crazy. I can't believe they did it.
It's fucking
I was
nuts.
like more in shock. And after as soon as I finished the movie, I was like, I need to digest this because there's more here. Yeah. Because this whole movie has so many absurd moments, like it has to be intentional, and there is. It's literally
it is.
On top of the fact that it's a horror genre and it has to be entertaining, like. It's literally her bleeding out onto the audience. So it's just, it was great. I loved it.
But so immediately after, her arm just bleeds everywhere.
Oh, they hit her head with the club.
They decapitate her.
And her head grows back.
Her head.
No, you're forgetting where she blows up, no?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her head falls off, and then she blows up, and then her head.
Well, she walks through the hallway and sprays blood all over the new Sue hallway.
Which is another reference to The Shining, because she's walking through that red hallway, and all this blood is going everywhere. I was like, that's the perfect Shining reference.
And then collapse explosion.
Then her head
collapse explosion.
crawls. Her head crawls on its own.
Yeah.
Just her face.
And this time it's Elizabeth's face.
Landing on her Hollywood star, where she slowly disintegrates into a puddle, covering her name, and forever staining her career.
Just like that burger.
Perfect.
Like the burger.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned the burger in the beginning, but like
no, we did not.
In the beginning, the movie starts off with like a scene of like her star in the Hollywood, and everybody's taking pictures. They're all like, "Oh, look at this, Elizabeth." As time goes on.
I did want to bring that up too, but I was like, oh man, my line right there would have been so perfect to just end the video, and then you kept talking.
I thought, I was like, perfect, and then we'll call it a day. Thank you for watching. Like, no, we got more to talk, dude.
There's a lot.
But we're finishing. The movie starts off with obviously like the star in the Walk of Fame.
You slowly see it degrade over time, much like her career or how she views her career.
Exactly.
To the point where. People no longer stop at it. Nobody even looks at it anymore.
Somebody drops a burger on it.
Somebody drops a burger on it. They try to clean it, but ultimately it's like...
It's a street.
It's a street. But the burger falling on the star is the same parallel to her just mushed all over.
The mush of her star just seeing the career. Thank you for
right.
watching, everybody.
It was like, now that I have the last line.
But... if you watched it, hopefully you watched it, you got to enjoy all that with us, because my God, it was a roller coaster. So much fun to be had. Is there anything you guys want to mention? Because there's some stuff I want to mention.
I think I'm good. You want to bring up anything?
I mean, there's a couple of trivias that I find that I read.
Right, so we have trivia on one end, and you have some introspective, right?
I have some facts and stuff about the movie.
Okay.
Okay. You go first, and we probably fucking have the same thing, to be honest.
Probably.
So did you guys notice the hallways, the one that the Shining hallway obviously referenced?
What?
The Shining reference?
No, when you first see it,
like you didn't grab me by the shoulder and violently shake it, like, this is just a Shining.
Dude, look up.
The first time you see the hallway, she's walking through it, and there's portraits of her throughout each throughout her generation.
Oh yeah.
And then the moment she walks in after being Sue once, that same hallway, it very much looks like Shining, but it's completely empty. Like they took all her posters down while she was gone.
Oh shit, that's fucked up.
I didn't notice it until I was revisiting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all bare. And then for that final scene to have her spraying blood all over the Sue pictures. It's like so good. I enjoyed the heck out of that. What was it? We talked about how the actresses' bodies were pretty much unattainable. Mm-hmm. The director talked about how her own personal experiences. So did the actors, because like we said, like even though we're guys and we can relate to this, there's no way we relate to it as much as women can watching this movie.
Right.
Like Margaret, what was it,
Qualley? Yeah.
She was saying that like when she was younger, like she was all paranoid about like her like head size of her hands or feet, and someone had told her like, oh, your knee looks weird, so she's like stopped wearing dresses. So, it's like little things like that. Like I remember when my sister was younger. My sister my sister's beautiful, but like I remember she would have issues where like people would talk down to her like that.
Yeah.
And it would get to her, and I'm like,
why? Like,
yeah,
that's
why?
a cute
and
dress.
we all have sisters, so like we very much can relate to that.
That's a cute dress, but like I don't think it's for you. And it's like, oh, well, I'm never gonna wear this dress again.
Yeah.
And even though it was a passing comment,
So what do you care what that person thinks? You're never gonna see them again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like that's where a lot of these emotional beats really come in. That and just also growing older. Like as you get older, you feel the aches and pains. And to think about what you were like when you were younger, you never really thought about. Well, some people did. I did.
That's because you were born old.
Yeah, I was born old.
They were like, "How old are you?" He's like 7.
But like the scene where Elizabeth watching Sue's interviews, it very much comes off like a daughter and mother relationship. A mother trying to live vicariously through her daughter.
Yeah.
But it's not her daughter; it's her.
It's her.
And it's just where like it's a combination of parallels. It's first one is that okay. If you were younger today, would you care as much as you do currently about your current self, or would you try to live? Would you try to live life more? Because if I were to reflect on my past, I'm like, okay, I want to go back. If I were to go back in time, I wouldn't change too much because I love the life I have now.
Right.
But like, would I have gone and partied a little bit more? Yeah, I would have enjoyed life a little bit more. I worked most of my life.
Yeah.
So it's like, for her, it's like
we have hard enough times now staying up to play like Fortnite
and Rivals.
So it's like if like you're like, oh, I didn't enjoy the time I had when I
it's
had
like,
the time.
but it's like for
so
her.
So we need to look at Sue's perspective from there. Can you blame her for doing what she's doing?
Well, no, but
I have a question.
The same. Yeah, go ahead.
Who do you think is at fault in this movie?
Her, I feel like.
Who is her?
It's her self-hatred.
Elizabeth.
The enemy of this movie is self-hatred.
It's she's her own villain because
she's her own worst enemy.
The substance, right? Like, yeah, it's this weird thing that, clones people, but at the same time, the rules are very clear.
Yeah.
The rules are very, very clear, and she broke those rules, and she kept breaking those rules, and she just kind of like, yeah.
The weird thing is,
it's like a drug.
It's not. It didn't.
It's
it
chasing
didn't.
the high.
Yeah,
would not
exactly.
affect you as much if you didn't have so much self-hatred toward yourself. But the only people who would even think to consider using something like this is somebody who didn't like themselves to begin with.
Exactly, and that's what's crazy because people don't get addicted to the drug itself; they get addicted to the high of the drug. Like that's what happens when you take pain. That's why painkillers are so addictive. Yeah, because you don't have to feel the pain anymore.
Yeah,
so it's like
but then in 7 days you have to switch back.
Yeah, I like being able to move without being in pain.
Yeah.
And pain can really mess with you. But if the pain is from inside, it's from your own self-loathing and hatred. You can't accept yourself. It's so sad. That's why I was so emotional during the movie, and that's also why, like, okay, cool, we got this parallel between self-hatred. Mm-hmm. Now we can view that same scene, but as a mother living vicariously through her daughter. Her daughter doesn't even show any respect to her, or doesn't
she doesn't realize what she's sacrificing so she can live that life.
Exactly.
Literally giving and I love the metaphor of a mom and daughter relationship, because when you have a child, a mother gives everything for their child. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, not all mothers are the best, but most scenarios, you're literally giving your own life to.
You're giving your child what you couldn't have.
They're sucking the life out of you in some sense, and that's literally what's happening in this scenario. And I'm like, God damn, it's so good. So I'll let you talk, and I got some other stuff to talk about.
I mean, I was gonna say that the main villain for me in this movie is just you. A lot of people would say, like, oh, the villain in this movie is, that corporation that has substance, or it could be even Harvey.
Or the societal standards.
Yeah, or
which
that.
is a big villain.
And it's like, here's the thing, but those things, like that drug, there are drugs that exist that gives you a high in real life. There are people like Harvey like that in real life, There are standards like that in real life. But the main villain is that herself, because
and we're not victim blaming.
No,
we're not victim blaming. I should mention that.
those people that you saw there, that's gonna continue. Like Harvey's still gonna find somebody else. They're still gonna be selling that drug. Those standards are still gonna be there, but she could have changed her life just by accepting who she was.
And that's why that quiet scene is
exactly.
so sad. Because it's like she's trying to do something for herself, but her perspective has been warped through society, through judgment, through her stardom. And the fact of the matter is that Sue was probably a lot like her when she was younger.
Yeah,
she just probably didn't recognize it
not even.
because she didn't have anyone but herself. So chasing, and then of course there's the classic theme of chasing youth. This idea that we're all gonna get older, we're all gonna age, we're all gonna inevitably.
You gotta accept your age.
It's part of life.
Yeah.
And that is probably another big problem with this is not a problem with it, but a problem with society is some people you work with what you have. We all living life the best we can, making the most of ourselves. And when people make their career or their lives revolve around their looks, it's so easy to just lose yourself in that.
Yeah.
Because you become fixated with the idea of your peak, of your perfection.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because remember, I let this movie digest for a week. And there was actually real life scenarios that happened that were similar to this. There was a coach and a bodybuilder who died at the Arnold Classic. She wasn't competing. Her name, I pulled it up earlier. It's Jody Vance. I hope I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not. And, respects to the family, my condolences. But she died. She wasn't competing. She died because she dehydrated herself too severely and was taking performance enhancing drugs in case she ran into people in public and wanted to take a selfie with them. She wanted to live up to the standard.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Live up to the standard of meeting a fan and being like, I want to be
how they perceive me.
She died for it. She died at the show, not competing. And like, holy crap. Like, and I don't mean to belittle the movie by doing a comparison, but it's very it's there. Like,
yeah,
it's very much a real thing in society. And same thing with social media being as big as it is. Because again, I was very into fitness. I still am, but I gotta get back on it.
A little bit of the movie I felt like could have taken place more in modern time. Yeah, because it was kind of like lost in time.
It was meant to be timeless, so you can put yourself whenever into it. You know what I mean?
Because I feel like if it was more modernized, you would have seen those online comments who were like, "Oh, like she used to look so much better." Like, "Oh, like well, this person's better looking anyway," and this and that.
I think it was Margaret, because I also heard an interview where she was like, she said that she read a comment about, "Oh, you should wax your you should wax your facial hair or something like that," and she tried it and it hurt like hell. And then she realized like it looked the exact same, and she's like, "Why did I listen to that person?"
Yeah, exactly.
But it's so easy to get caught up in that. And what is it? When it comes to fitness, whenever you're seeing someone in Instagram feeds, not to say that everyone's juicing, but those are like the 1%. The people who have like insane genetics.
Out of 1,000 photos, that's the one they chose.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so to hold yourself up to this peak, this standard, it's impossible. It's unrealistic for a day-to-day life, especially if you're a father or if you're a mother or if anything.
Making excuses, get back to the gym.
I do. I will. I'm not gonna lie. I do have my own self-loathing sometimes about just how I look, but man, there was so much impact in this movie, and that's why I was kind of like when I watched Talk to Me. I was like, this is a great movie, and I'm gonna rate it this high, but I'm not sure. I gotta sit on it, and then a week later, I was like,
this is definitely probably the most emotional heavy movie we've covered on the channel
for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is just because of how real the subject matter is.
Yeah.
There's other stuff we can keep going, but I'll leave it there.
If you're watched, if you listened, you're beautiful. You're a great person.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking around as long as you guys have. I know this has been a long episode, but I think we're going to wrap it up here. Just don't forget your self-worth because it's there. You just have to find it.
Has your rating changed at all?
Keep loving yourself.
Has my rating changed at all? As far as
he's actually 5. I mean, come on, damn it.
I thought you guys brought all his points. It's 4. No, I don't think my rating has changed. I think this was a great film, but as a movie, I think it lacked substance.
All right.
It had great substance. I think it lacked story. That was my main issue.
Right.
Also, I think Debbie Moore.
Debbie
right?
Moore.
I'm sorry, my pronunciation is bad.
Academy Award winner Demi Moore.
Golden
Globe winner.
Golden Globe. Only the
Her
seventh.
speech was amazing. If you guys haven't seen it and you just watch this movie, go watch her speech. It's like, it's not ironic, but it's like, it's awesome that it's like
how connected they are.
It's not like life. It doesn't matter how old you are, and if you feel like you haven't accomplished enough, there's always a chance to do more. And she just proved it by making a movie about that.
Yeah.
On top of that, great nomination for a horror movie. Not a lot of horror movies get snubbed at the Oscars. This was the 7th movie to even get nominated for Best Picture ever. Mm-hmm. Obviously, first one being The Exorcist, Jaws, Silence of the Lambs, which won that year. Best Picture is the only horror movie to ever win Best Picture. Sixth Sense, Black Swan, Get Out, and this one. So the last horror movie to get nominated for Best Picture was Get Out, like 10 almost.
Was that 2017? Almost
2017.
Yeah,
so almost 10 years ago.
So
and to even, video is being done editing,
and even to get nominated for Best Picture, that's pretty big.
High honor.
That's such a high honor, dude. Even if you don't win it,
and everybody involved in the production is a fantastic job. Honestly, what won Best Picture?
Nora.
Never even heard of it. This movie should have won.
It's another. No, it's another.
Like
I haven't seen it. I haven't
one.
seen it, but it's another sensitive topic movie. that swept a lot of awards.
We'll leave it at that.
All right then. Well, thank you for watching. If you did,
man,
I hope you liked the movie. It's a hell of a movie.
Hell yeah, hell of a movie. Jesus Christ.
I want to.
Alrighty then.
Good stuff.
We're gonna stop recording. We're done for the day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We're gonna still talk about this movie once the camera's off.
and, well, it's about to die. So, all right, guys.
All right.
I love you guys.
Bye.
Love you all. Stay beautiful. Love you.